Hey, it's Chris and Brian here from Resolve Technology, and today we are going to talk about some changes with Windows 11 that Chris found out about yesterday, and it has to do with BitLocker encryption and encrypting the hard drive by default, which up until now, Windows 10, Windows 11, we would go in and run a script or enable it through the interface. But Chris, looks like
Yeah.
that's going to change.
Yeah. So just for some context here, if you can see on my screen on File Explorer, you see this lock next to both the operating system drive and my secondary hard drive here. Now, this can be configured. So for example, if I restart my computer, it'll unlock one, but this data one I have set to like a password. So a password unlocks that secondary drive of storage for me. So essentially, the main thing here is like the drive. There's a key that's needed for the encryption. So like if it ever gets locked on you and you can't boot into Windows, say there's a power outage, it's really important that you store that key, whether you save it to a file, whether you print it out. When you set up BitLocker, it gives you these options because you could potentially get locked out of your drive. So I just wanted to point that out.
Okay, that's a little bit technical for like if a business owner is watching or whatever. Just know if you work with us, we generally store those keys in our
Right, we
documentation.
that. Yeah.
So they're in a secure location. So if we ever need to get into use the BitLocker key for whatever reason, we can. But the BitLocker, the beauty of it is it's all seamless to the end user. They don't know when we
Yeah.
BitLocker
Right.
the computer. It's just like, especially laptops have to be BitLockered, right? You should
Yeah.
try BitLocker just about everything, but definitely a laptop should be BitLockered because that way, if they're lost or stolen, they can't easily be broken into outside the operating system. Okay,
Yep.
go ahead, Chris.
Yep. So essentially, right now we're on the latest version of Windows 11 is 23H2, and they've kind of gone to this abbreviation now. So the year and the time of the year. So 23 half two is the tail end of 2023. Starting with 24H2, which would be toward I'd say probably fall 2024. It will revise the setup procedure to automatically by activating BitLocker. And it explains it's the built-in full volume encryption feature that was first introduced on Vista. It encodes data on the hard drive so it can be read without a key. And Brian also mentioned some of this. So if you had a new installation, they kind of show how to turn it off. You go to your drive here, manage BitLocker. But it's essentially going to be turned on by default on new Windows 11 installations. So any new computers you buy that are on from Dell or whoever that are on the latest version of Windows 11, I don't know, in the beginning of 2025, say, is a very high chance that it's on by default. And
Which
as
is
Brian
great.
mentioned, right, it's a feature you should be using in a business setting, especially on portable devices like something like a laptop, in case it's ever stolen. And a lot of companies have data that they don't want getting out there, sensitive data that might be stored on those drives.
Right. So definitely if you're under any sort of compliance, HIPAA, CMMC, you're trying to work within the NIST compliance frameworks, all this stuff, your IT people should have done this. As soon as they roll out a new system, they should do it. Like, it's super simple, even though it's not enabled by default now. 2 minutes to enable BitLocker, and then 2 minutes for us to document it. So your IT people should be doing it.
Yep.
All right, Chris, thanks for bringing that to our attention and making us more secure. Thank you.